Randy, I tell you what, I took a look at your swing. You got a lot of really good things. Looks to me like your grip, really good relative to fitting you. Obviously, you've been playing golf a long time. From this face-on view, the angles look really good. I mean, you don't overswing, you don't break down. You've got this L over here, you release and you rotate the club through well. So your arms rotate and your wrists rehinge on the follow through. So, I mean, that's all pretty damn good. When we watch from this view, here's where we start to see a potential issue. And you're kind of like I was, and we grew up a lot in the same era. So the old get up here and then get off your right side and get your hips through, or get up to your left side. So what I see is you get to the top, and as you move down, your right hip moves up and into the ball. So it moves up here. Now you're finished somewhat on balance, but you go back, and the first move is your right hip moves up and closer to the ball. So that makes you have to go out a little bit with your arms, so you get a little steep. So the key, is not changing what your swing's doing, it's changing how your lower body works. So this right hip, you want to get this right hip out of the way, and then you want the hip to stay out of the way. So even though you're moving laterally, you don't want your hip to move up closer to the ball. So the first drill, just hit a few balls where you drop your right foot back, and you hit a few balls where you let your right foot roll in. So this foot can roll in, but you can't come off your heel. So you don't have to hit them hard. You just let that foot roll in. And if that foot rolls in, if that's what it's going to be able to do, if that's all it can do, then this leg will feel what it feels like to rotate down and in, which is what this is supposed to do. It's actually the rotation in this leg, this femur, as it rotates, is what actually starts to make your left hip turn, or your right hip turn. So it's not thrusting it out this way. So that's the first one. Just drop your right foot back. The second one, if you can get a chair or something to sit up against, anything where you can touch the chair and stay back. Now I've got my golf bag here. So I'm going to set my golf bag up so that I can put my right hip where my right hip is just touching, that driver is just touching my right hip. So I'm going to make sure that it stays back, and when I start down that I stay touching. Now it comes off after I hit it, but when I make the change of direction, something keeps touching back there. And the other thing, the other drill, which is nothing more than how your hips work to throw a ball. There's a circular motion that your right hip makes, whether you're hitting a tennis ball, hitting a baseball. So there's a motion where you make, as you go back, your right hip moves back and it moves forward. So this hip is actually moving back and going forward. So it's actually making a little circle. Now, as it makes that little circle, then your arms will drop, and then you can go ahead and just do the same thing. So we're going to make a back swing, and that hip's going to make a little circle. And all that does, if you watch that, my hips stay back. So then my arms can get back down where they're supposed to go. The last thing, and it probably could be the first, this might just click for you. If your task is you start here, and you have to bring your hands right back to where they started. So there's my setup, there's my impact. So I've got to get my hands back where they started. So if you put something above your hands, or have somebody stand there with a stick, if my hands are going to get back here, if that's where I've got to go, it doesn't make any sense for my hips to move up because I can't get my hands back in there. So just standing there and going up, and make your hands come back where they started. Your hands come back inside the ball where they started. And if you just do that, you can get a feel. Now, that one would probably be the first one to try. If that clicks, just leave it alone at that task. If that one doesn't click, drop the foot back and start rolling your foot in. You know, then if you want to go any further, you put a bag so you can feel how it means to make a transition, move force from right to left, but not move closer to the ball. Doesn't matter how much your hips clear, it matters that as they move, they don't get in the way of what you got to do with your arms. And that's really the only thing you're doing wrong at all, which makes you a little steep, a little across it. It looked to me like you were pulling quite a few shots. So give that a try. Let me know how it works.